Today on Cancer Buzz, technology that is transforming the oncology pharmacy. Welcome back to Cancer Buzz. I'm your host, Summer Johnson. Our guest today is helping develop innovative solutions to streamline pharmacy operations that have saved his healthcare system millions of dollars. One of those innovative solutions is robotic pharmacists. Andre Harvin is the Executive Director of Pharmacy for Oncology Services at Cone Health in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Pharmacy is such an exciting area, I think, within oncology care. The things that really strong clinical pharmacists can bring to the team. Our operations have always been top notch, but we've had recent updates in USP 797-800 that are really exciting and making sure that we're, taking care of our patients and protecting them from some potential pathogens. There's a lot of great things that I look forward to. I think most importantly is just being able to tell the story of the Cone Health Cancer Center, which we're just exceptionally proud of the collaborative work that we deliver here within North Carolina to patients that are looking for their cancer services.
What are some of the technologies that make the pharmacy more efficient that you'll be discussing in your keynote address?
There's a lot of things that you can look at. I think first and foremost is obviously biosimilars, which shouldn't be a new word to anyone out there of these last couple years. They've certainly had a pretty exponential uptake over the last 3 years. What we really want to take and bring to the table is like, what's a way that you can do that a little bit more seamlessly? So we know there's a lot of frustrations with biosimilars because payers make it a little bit difficult, right? So depending on who that patient's payer is, it may limit which biosimilar you can actually utilize for that patient, which one you'll get the best reimbursement for, how much they cost you. There's so many of those things that you have to take into account when you're just doing normal orders. But we want to bring to the table and show people is how you can do that a little bit more seamlessly, leveraging some technology and even some third-party vendors that are available in the market that can not only make that process a lot more seamless, but also improve your financials at the same exact time. So it's not just about the cost savings associated with biosimilars, but also finding ways to improve your margin and ensure that if you're doing the work, really dispensing the same exact medications, because we're going to look at biosimilars and say that they're, highly similar. They're not generics, but they're about as close as you can get to it. How do I make sure that if I'm giving a biosimilar, regardless of which one it is, that I'm also maximizing the financials for the cancer center? So we're really excited to share some of the innovative ways we approach that, starting off from just how pharmacy can practice that way, but then how you can leverage some of those tools within your electronic medical record as well.
Beyond biosimilars, what else will you be addressing that you think the audience will be able to take away and bring back to their own centers?
We're going to talk about really what goes on inside the cancer center from the pharmacy perspective, which is leveraging IV robotics. So we're very fortunate that we were sizable enough to be able to partner with an IV robotics organization very early on. So all of our cancer centers use things like an IV robot, gravimetrics. We also have other IV robots within our health system outside of the cancer center. And we have found ways to leverage those new technologies to, one, move patients through their visits faster, two, ensure that the medications that are being compounded are adhering to the very highest standards possible, and three, we're also generating some cost savings by preventing pharmacists from having to go into the clean room, and some of the materials and consumables that we utilize through robotics end up being cheaper than if we were to compound them by hand. So that's, some really cool things that are somewhat unique, I think, more to a community cancer center. We actually work with the vendor to show whether or not it's a viable model for cancer centers of our size or even potentially smaller. And then outside of that, we're going to, dig in a little bit more with some other things that we can leverage within our electronic medical record that can just make patients' visits and their experience a little bit more seamless.
Why do you think it's important to be in the room and attend a summit like this with your colleagues?
I think getting to this summit, as all of them are, when you get into a room with people that are focused on the same thing, oncology care, the finances around oncology care, it's just such a great opportunity to not only network, but again, hear those best practices. I mean, that's what we're there to do, because every time I go to these, I come back and I ask my team, hey, is there a reason we haven't looked into this? is this something that we could potentially do here as well? What do you guys think about what this particular cancer center has been doing? And is that something that can work here for us? I mean, it's just an opportunity to get people together and hear about the great things that people are doing without just having to, go on Google and see if you can find anyone that's produced an article about it. There's a lot of great practices that are occurring across the nation in pockets. And sometimes people just don't have the ability to sit down and write about it, or they feel like, well, hey, maybe what I'm doing isn't that special, but it may be special to someone else. So it's really important that we just get to sit down and hear from one another, learn from one another, bring it all together, and then hopefully everyone goes back and finds a way to take what they learned there and improve the health of the patients that they serve.
If you're interested in hearing more from Andre Harvin and the chance to connect and collaborate with cancer care colleagues across the country, check out the show notes for a link to register for the ACCC 49th Annual Meeting and Cancer Center Business Summit. That's March 8th through the 10th in Washington, D.C. Until next time, this is Summer Johnson.
Cancer Buzz is a resource of the Association of Community Cancer Centers.